leave quietly. Always leave quietly.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strada. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's get into this video. So lovelies, in today's video, women are actually living quietly in their relationship, and I was just able to put up some stage as well as other people that actually react to this video. Guys, I'm just gonna be rolling it. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section and let's get into it.
The past couple of months, I've been reading about this concept called quiet quitting. And quiet quitting is basically when you become dissatisfied with one or more aspects of your job, rather than quit the job, you just stop going above and beyond, which means you're not coming in early, you're not staying late, you are not trying to help a coworker, or, you are just basically doing just enough not to get fired and stay on the payroll. And as I'm reading this, I'm thinking to myself, man, quiet quitting happens in relationships all the time. Have you ever noticed that when a relationship is over, it's been over? Like, it's over long before it's officially declared over, because one or both partners have quietly quit, meaning they're no longer being intentional. The energy is not there. The effort is not there. It has just kind of fallen into this basic routine of good morning text. How was your day? Okay, I'll talk to you later. But there's no real engagement. There's no real momentum. There's no real intention to move things forward. It's just like we're both sitting here. And so if you are in a relationship, ask yourself, have you quietly quit? Has your partner quietly quit? Are you both engaging? Are you both intentional? Or is this the slow runway to its inevitable ending? For the past couple of months,
Advice I would give women a million times. Leave quietly. Always leave quietly. If a man ghosts you, don't say anything. Leave quietly. If a man disrespects you, leave quietly. Don't say anything. And the reason for that is men thrive off of negative emotions from you. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. So when you send those long paragraphs telling him like how much he pissed you off and how you hate him and don't talk to me ever again, that is still a viable emotion that he is getting your energy from. It shows that you care to some degree. I'm telling you, nothing feels better than taking your power back and not saying anything. Leave his ass confused and stuck. Just dismiss him. Start dismissing men. I promise you, it will make your life so peaceful. And I mean, you could apply it to any relationships. I do. I see your bullshit and I'm not acknowledging it. Certain things just aren't worth your time, so you need to act like it. Just leave quietly. Just leave quietly.
Watching a video on Instagram and this girl was saying, like, if a man disrespects,
I think it was my video you saw on your For You page. Hey girl, I gave that advice because I realized that men are not stupid. I hate that we've really taken the phrase, men are stupid, and we ran with it, because it's really not true. And I saw a lot of comments under that video that were saying things like, well, I don't care if he cares, he just needs to know that he hurt me, he needs to know what he did, he needs to know why it's wrong. If you are over a certain age, like let's say you're in your mid-20s, even early 30s and up, he knew what he did. You're not the first woman he's talked to. You're not the first woman that he's done that shit with. 9 times out of 10, he knew the reaction he was gonna get from you. And also, I wanna add, probably also planned for you to get upset. A lot of times it is a test. Like I said in the original video, men thrive off of emotion. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. So when we say things like, oh, well, I don't care what he thinks, I just want him to know, he knew. When you get into your mind that, dang, like, you thought about this and you disrespected me, it should just give you the complete ick and allow you to walk away. It's kind of the same sentiment as when people say like, oh, I'm not gonna block them because I want them to see me doing well. You still care. You still care, and that's okay, but you gotta be real with yourself. When you really internalize that somebody thought about what they were going to do to you, they thought about how it was going to hurt you, they thought about how you would react to it, and they either decided that they didn't care or that they would do it anyways on purpose for the reaction, it will completely turn you off and allow you to just turn your emotions off to them. Another thing I think people misunderstood about my video is that I'm not telling women to not have emotions. I'm an incredibly emotional person. I'm telling you, do not give any of your emotion to them because they do not deserve it. Turn around, do a 180 about face, and direct that emotion to a homegirl, to a therapist. And unfortunately, a lot of times when we give these long, drawn-out messages about what they did and how it hurt us and every little thing that they had us fucked up on in detail, it's only going to be used as a playbook for next time. You're teaching him how to disrespect you, and you're also teaching him that he has unlimited chances. At the end of the day, regardless of what you say and how long the paragraph is and how well you explain to him what he did wrong, all he's gonna take from it is the fact that he responded and he still has access to you. I know, it's hard. Female rage is great, but ooh, that piece hits different, I promise.
I'm sure by now you have all heard about that Twitter post that has recently gone viral. You know, the one with the guy saying that phase where you slowly start hating your girlfriend is crazy. There's, of course, a lot of conversation on this platform about it, saying that this proves how so many men don't even like women. You know, they like the goods, but they don't like women. And I do think this is accurate. But in all fairness, many women reach that phase in relationships or marriage too. As I have said before, marriages die by slow degrees. Relationships do also. Quiet quitting happens as much in relationships and marriage as it does in the workplace. The difference for how it evolves for men and women is, you know, slight. Women quiet quit is, or when they have already spent far too long in the relationship asking for changes or communicating what they need, to only be met with resistance, negativity, defensiveness, or sometimes things do change for 2 weeks and then it just goes right back to square one. When this is an ongoing pattern, we stop asking, we just kind of give up, we check out, and then eventually we just leave. I think with men, there's often a complacency that sets in. They don't feel the need to be as attentive. They start taking their partner for granted, but they're still very comfortable with the status of being in a relationship or married, the convenience of it all. So they just, you know, do the bare minimum and keep it going until. Or sometimes they know what they're doing. They're sabotaging, hoping their partner gets fed up so that she leaves. And that way he isn't pulling the plug and being the bad guy for giving up a good thing. Have you guys had any experiences with quiet quitting in a relationship or marriage? I'm sure.
Quiet quitting a relationship. Now, we've all heard about quiet quitting in the workplace, and I think that can be a good thing, setting some boundaries at work. But quiet quitting in a relationship is totally different. It's a state of not feeding the relationship anymore. You or your partner is doing the bare minimum. You're not leaving, but you're not doing anything to move the relationship forward. And there could be a lot of reasons why people do this rather than end the relationship. Your partner or yourself might feel like you want the relationship to continue, but there are issues that you've tried to address. There's been no change, so you've sort of given up. And as a result, resentment builds, and you or the other party check out. How do you know if you've been quiet quitting or if your partner's been quiet quitting? Have you been avoiding conversations around issues that you've had, or have you not been talking to avoid conflict? Are you coming up with reasons why you're not spending quality time with your partner? Ask yourself, have you been avoiding going home, staying at work late, or sitting in your car when you get home, listening to songs rather than go inside? Do you talk to friends, family, anyone and everyone else about your relationship issues rather than talk to your partner? Are you on your phone, or are you daydreaming about being other places when you're with your partner? Do you find yourself being in the same physical space with your partner, but are you avoiding touching them or interacting with them? Are you finding reasons not to plan or talk about the future? Are you resigning yourself to the idea that things will never change, this is just the way it's going to be, so there's no reason to try? These are all signs of quiet quitting in a relationship, and it can feel very lonely. So what to do? You need to find a way that you and your partner can get together again so you can be vulnerable and talk about your issues. I would recommend talking to a counselor, talking to a therapist, meeting with a mediator, finding a place that's safe that you can talk about your issues so you can get on the same page. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you ever been through this?
Here's why quiet quitting your relationship is actually a super healthy approach to long-term love. I do not actually care much about whatever's going on between these two. What I care about is the notion of this very trendy term as it applies to long-term relationships. So for instance, I think that there are times in the course of a 15-year-long romance when maybe your relationship is no longer your top priority, and that's okay. So you may need to prioritize yourself. You may need to prioritize your job, and the relationship might need to take a back seat. I have 3 top priorities in life: my child, my job, and my relationship. The child is always pretty much number 1, hovers up there, feels good. My work and my relationship kind of do this, depending on which needs me more at any given point in time.
When a man says he was blindsided by his divorce, my perspective typically is that his partner was likely quiet quitting their marriage for a long time. We often hear about how women initiate most divorces in heteronormative relationships and that men can feel really blindsided by the request for a divorce. And what I think has happened in many marriages over a long period of time is that after lots of discourse, specifically about the same thing over and over, and a lack of meaningful change, the woman tends to decide to stop engaging. No longer will she be emotional. No longer will she be asking for more from her partner. No longer will she be looking to them for any sort of meaningful partnership because she's tried, right? Oftentimes we hear about how women are so emotional and they're never satisfied and nobody's happy if mom's not happy, and that they're basically always asking for more from their partners. They're saying, great, you helped me do the dishes, but now can you do it right? Great, you provided me emotional support one time, but can you make sure to be an emotional support partner to me over the course of our marriage? And I think what happens from the male side is typically they are defensive. Men tend to be defensive when their partners come to them asking for any sort of change or engagement level that they're not comfortable with. Not only are they defensive, but sometimes instead of being defensive, they just appease their partner. They say like, yes, I will do that. Yes, I will change. Yes, I love you and I want to do better for you. And then they don't do that. And so after going through that cycle enough times, asking and being met with a yes, but no action, or asking and being met with defensiveness, asking and being dismissed, many women are saying, I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to protect my emotions. I'm going to protect my time. They might remain in that marriage for an extended period of time. There might be no fighting. And that's typically what men will say, like, we weren't fighting. Nobody was angry. There was nothing going on. Like, there was no big catalyst for this. And that's usually true. There was no big catalyst. It was just a bunch of little things that added up over time. And she got to a point where she decided, I'm no longer going to pour myself into this. I am now going to protect myself, and I'm going to bide my time, essentially quiet quit, until there's an appropriate point where I can actually leave. And I'm not advocating for this by any means. I personally think communication and counseling and things like that are very, very important. But I do think that's a big part of this narrative of being blindsided by divorce. They were blindsided because their partner had no longer been engaging with them in the way they had been historically. And so they seemed happy. But typically somebody doesn't just become more laid back or care less about something when there's been no actual meaningful change. It's not like they just stopped caring about that thing. They've likely just stopped looking to their partner as a safe person to engage with, and not really a partner at all.
If a man ghosts you, if a man breaks up with you, if a man cheats on you, if a man does you dirty in any way, shape, or form, leave quietly. Don't send the paragraph. Don't blow up their phone. Don't show up to their house. Say absolutely nothing. Keep your dignity. Keep your self-worth. Nothing is going to affect them as much as you saying absolutely nothing and disappearing. Pretend like they never fucking existed.
Like, seriously, lovelies, I was thinking that this live quietly of a thing was actually applied in just your workplace or your workspace, wherever you are working and all of that, and you feel that this job or if a thing is actually frustrating you or actually giving you stress instead of making you happy and all of that, then a lot of people decided to start, looking for or sourcing for other means of income or other place of work that could just, balance their kind of life. But I don't even know that living quietly in a relationship is a thing until when I came across this video. And this entails in the situation whereby you've been in a relationship, maybe marriage or, courting or dating of a thing. And you realize in that relationship, it's as if you're giving your all, or maybe the person you are not in a relationship is not giving you the same reciprocation of what you actually give this person. So a lot of women have been in this kind of shoes, a lot of women, which I actually put up some stitches, and most of them are actually advising, instead of you to just stick around the relationship trying to like argue, trying to like give yourself the reason why you need to still be in that relationship. Even this actually implies with male and female, when you know that you're in a relationship, you're no longer happy in this relationship. The relationship is all about struggle, stress, and all of that. It's just draining you instead of making you happy, or instead of bringing out the best in you. So a lot of women are advising that instead of you to just keep on arguing and staying in such relationship or in such toxic relationship. We know a lot of people are battling with narcissistic behaviors these days. This narcissistic behavior is actually in a man and also in a woman. So when you realize that maybe you're in this relationship and it's just all about stress, all about, oh my God, complaints and all of that, the best thing you need to do for yourself is just to live quietly. Like, by living quietly, that means you don't need to stress yourself over things. Maybe let's just assume that you have a partner that often doing a particular character that you detest. Let's just assume that this person is someone that usually come back from work late, and when a guy or a woman starts putting his or her work or whatever he does outside as the number one priority, that means this person is actually getting tired of you. So instead of you to just stay around trying to wait for when this person decided to come around again, it's better for you to start losing your own interest. It's better for you to just start minimizing the way you care too much. Maybe this person actually comes back home from work anytime he likes or she likes, late and all of that. Try to give you so many reasons, try to it's all about argument. The only thing you need to do is just quietly work on yourself, make other provisions, make other plans of yourself. Then instead of, because it's life, it's just sure. So instead of you to just keep on waiting and trying to hang in there, okay, he or she might come around. Even if you've lost interest in me, you can still come around. Let's just keep on waiting for the relationship till God knows when this person comes up. So that's why when I saw this living quietly that is being applied in the workspace or workforce, because at work sometimes you start getting frustrated or you stop enjoying the kind of work you do. Sometimes it's just good for you to change environment, take other risks. And now this is now being applied in marriages, relationship, and instead of some people to just be in a relationship where they are not even happy, they just complain, they've tried every means to make this relationship work. So instead of it to go physical or try to do some devious thing, it's so advisable to live quietly. And a lot of women, I think, they are indulging in this because this has become a thing. It's a trend right now on TikTok, and I was just able to put up the stitches because when I saw it, I was like, I don't really know that this thing is a thing. And come to think of it, I think I agree, if not for most of the things these people I put up their stitches said, but at least 80% of the things they said, it can be applicable. Because this life, you just need somebody that compliments you, somebody that brings out the best in you, someone that will support you throughout anything that you've indulged in your life. It's not somebody that want to drag you down, that want to put you down the mood, or that want to make your life so miserable. So I think I understand from their own perspective, because sometimes in relationship, this also happens in marriage, and it also happens in normal dating relationship. Sometimes you find out that your partner is actually losing interest in you, and they are just there that, okay, we are married and that is it. Let's just be here for marriage thing. Let us be here and it's okay, everybody's married and all of that. A lot of people are in this category. They are just losing interest. They are just they're just there in the relationship because they still want to maintain that status of, okay, so this person is married, but inside or internally, these people are living a very separate life. This other person can go do whatever you want to do. They don't communicate. Any other person can live their life the way they want. The other person can go out, come back, as in they are just living their life separately. And if you see this kind of relationship, or because they just still want to answer be married, it's just something that it's just still okay for you to find your space somewhere, be happy, create happiness for yourself, instead of it to keep on being in a place whereby you are suppressing, you are and a lot of people are putting this into consideration, because there are so many things happening. People fall out and in love, and it's so good sometimes when you feel that you are actually having less interest in this your relationship or your partner or something. You could just decide to, like, okay, split for some times, then you can still come together. It also make relationship to bubble and all of that. So I can actually commend whatever they have said. And secondly, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be in a relationship. If you know that it is something that you need to work on, and when you work on it, it's going to work out, please do it, because beautiful relationship, it's so fulfilling. So guys, anyways, why not just leave me your own sense in the comment section of what you think of this video, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel for more relationship tips, advices and all of that. And I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.